Just a few questions.
Yeah.
What attracted you to the novella? How did Brooke get cast? When did you first meet? How did you get into directing?
First of all, I was in a movie called Shampoo,
Right.
and Warren Beatty said to me, "Lee, you're 49. You have no future in this business." And I was 50, I wasn't 49. And so I thought about it over the weekend, and I went to the AFI, American Film Institute, and I did a short film with my very good, brilliant friends, Dolores Dorn and Susan Strasberg. And it happened to be sent to San Francisco to the Godmothers, who had had a college season with the woman who wrote this. And so they called and said, "Would you like to work on a screenplay of Tell Me a Riddle?" And Joyce Eliason was a young writer who they chose. And so for a year, Joyce and I worked on the screenplay, which she wrote. And then this fucking miracle happened. And I think it's a miracle. I think the work in this is beyond anything that I've seen that moves me, that takes me to the places that I may not want to go, but that are so beautiful and so explored, and that dance that's done between Melvin and Brooke and Lelia. I have worked on the film, I've seen the film, but it is, to me, it's like nothing I've ever seen. That connection and the exploration and the caring that they genuinely find for each other, and the writing and the work and the revolution, which is all shit now. I came here from the television and from the radio, and we know what's going on. And my mother came from, what's the country that's being destroyed? Ukraine. My mother came from Vitya. Haskalovich came from Ukraine. So the depth of the experience with what they went through, what we're going through now, the exploration of it, and the fact that there's just so much that you can do about it, especially for someone like me, who found, after Warren Beatty told me I was too old, that I found Fred Murphy, who made this film, who was like the consummate cinematographer, and who taught me how to work as a partner with the cinematographer, where I had never done before, so that we were like two fools flying through the days and the nights. and together, not even having to talk to each other because we just, knew with the brilliant actors that we had, especially this touch of youth here, lighting up our lives.
How did Brooke get involved in the production?
May I say?
Yes, sure.
I knew Lee because I knew her daughter Dinah Manoff,
Right.
and a wonderful actress and a wonderful woman. And I had read Tell Me a Riddle. It's the only other film that I read Dead Zone before I did it, not knowing they were going to make a movie of it, and I read Tell Me a Riddle before I knew they were going to make a movie of it. And I was so moved by it. First of all, one of the things that actually was happening in my life while we were filming, and was also happening to Melvin, his wife was dying and my mother was dying. And my father had sold her house without her permission.
Wow.
And it was her legacy, it was everything to her. And so this novella just killed me. And then I went to audition for Lee. Lee was the first woman director I'd ever auditioned for, the first actor director I had ever auditioned for, and it was a revelation. It was the best experience of my life. It was incredible. She knows what it is to be a woman. She knew what it was to be young. She knew what it was to be an actor. The first scene I read for you, I don't know if you'll remember this, but you said, "Oh, you can do better than that." and I was so relieved because I knew I could do better than that. But most people just go, "Oh, very nice, thank you." And you walk out and you don't want to say, "Well, wait, I could do better than that." So she said it for me, and it just the whole experience was magic. It was, when you're going through something like I was going through or Melvin was going through, to be able to have an experience that is art, where you can work it out and was extraordinary.
Well, it was, the relationship was real.
Closer.
The relationship that had happened between you and Lelia and you and Melvin was happening as we filmed it. I mean, it wasn't acting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It wasn't
and my relationship
whatever
with
you
that
brought.
stupid boyfriend was
Whatever you
happening.
brought.
My relationship with my boyfriend was happening too. He was a jerk.
Please, Brooke.
Is that in the movie or in
But-
real life?
But it
Well,
was
actually
happening
very
in
nice
front of us.
Lee,
And we had the privilege of filming it. I don't remember giving any directions.
Oh, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
What
You
did I
were
say?
Yes.
You could do better than that. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but you were just you were a conductor. You were just leading us through this.
How lucky we were.
How lucky.
Lee, I'm not moderating, but there have been other women directors, but you made a concerted attempt to make this a predominantly woman crew. For the
Predominantly.
woman crew.
The producers were all women.
And,
Oh.
and also the production designers. Fred might be
Patricia was the,
Patricia Ben.
Von Brandenstein.
Right.
yeah.
She's,
Is Patricia here?
she is.
Oh, she is. Wow.
Von
Brandon Stein.
Patricia Von
Brandon Stein, yes.
is one of the great
Production.
designers of all time. And why isn't she here?
Well, she is here.
She is here in the back. There she is.
And her husband, Stuart, is also a great designer.
He's here too.
He's here too. And while Patricia made magic in this film, Stuart made magic in another film that I did that didn't work. But the work he did worked. The rest of the film didn't. But to Stuart. And so,
Fred, how did you get involved with Lee?
Actually, I think this is very simple. You simply just called me up and asked me. I don't know. Perhaps you saw a film I did, and
oh yes, I did.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was
Yeah.
Heartland, probably.
Yes. And what was the thing you said to me that I always tease you about?
So that it's simple
Lee.
trigonometry.
Yes.
So when
You know,
faced,
I came from, this little half-hour Strindberg piece that I did with AFI, to this enormous canvas with this guy, and he said to me, Lee, it's simple trigonometry. I said I failed math. Simple trigonometry. But
Fred, what were the challenges of shooting on location? The San Francisco locations are extraordinary. Did you have permits?
oh, no, it was too long ago to remember all that. No, but thinking about Lee, I think there's a scene that I like, simple scene where they go to the beach, and I think Lee, you said, so you do things. You said to me, the camera should push through the whatever you want to call that, and out onto the beach, and that was one of the most beautiful things in the movie, in a way. Just that simple idea that the camera should push through the arch and see the beach. So that was your idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you've forgotten.
well, you're in the moment.
Yeah, no, and you see something.
It's like when
that-
you're watching the film, you're in the moment. You're going from one scene to the next, and when you're in it with your partner, you're in the moment, and the actors are in the moment. So, it's going from one kind of magical time to the next.
Brooke, was there any improvisation at all, do you remember, or was it all to the letter by the script?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Was there any improvisation? I don't remember there being any. Was there?
I
No.
don't remember it. No.
I think it was pretty.
The writer, these four girls, these producers, these four girls were in college. These four girls were in college, and they had the session with, what's her name?
Tilly Olsen.
Yes, Tilly Olsen. They were in college. They were in their, third year, and Tilly Olsen made such an impression on them. I never met her.
I did.
That you did.
I went to Nicaragua with her.
What was she like?
She was feisty, no bullshit, political. She was, intimidating kind of, but fantastic.
What brought you to
But the
Nicaragua?
fact that they, out of this class in college, that the four of them should decide to make this movie and get a film producer, Saul Zantz, to help them raise the money for it, and see my little AFI 20-minute costume film, and say, come direct this. It's like, the stuff that dreams are made of. And here it is.
Should we take some questions from the audience?
I'll come around with this. Give me a wait. We'll start right here.
Lee, I just wanted to say you're my favorite actor and director of all time, and
I
thank you.
can't hear you.
I wanted to say you're my favorite actor and director of all time, and thank you so much for signing my Blu-rays that I've sent your way. I've been sending the Blu-ray copies to your house on fanmail.biz, and I've gotten all autograph responses. So thank you very much for signing them.
You're welcome.
I don't know if you're the one who signed them, but someone's been signing them. My question, and also Brooke, I love Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I've had it on VHS since I was a kid, so thank you for entertaining me and scaring me when I was a kid. I wanted to ask Lee, you've directed for Lifetime, you've directed films, documentaries. What is your favorite medium to direct?
What is what?
What's your favorite kind of film to direct, Lee?
Or medium? Documentary, television, film?
Well, these days, with what is happening, my yearning for doing a documentary of I'm stuck in my house. I'm stuck looking at the television. I'm stuck with Trump. I'm stuck, and we had a company, my husband, Joe Furia, and we had a company where we made documentaries. He made 2 of them, and we could get on film, and it was on HBO.
Yeah.
The things that were happening, the things that we could do something about, the things that we cared about, and to have no tools for what all of us know is going on now is painful. It's when you did have the tools and suddenly you don't have the tools anymore. I'm in trouble. I am. You look at what's going on in the news, and thank God for Europe. Thank God for Europe coming up with it, and that they took Zelensky and took him to their hearts, and is promising some arms, to protect Ukraine against Putin. We all feel the same way, and you just wish that there was something that you could do about it. But boy, that Zelensky, take my hat off to him, because those fuckers in the White House really had him cornered. And it was a dirty, 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 dirty trick that they pulled on him. And he came out of it, and he went to Europe, and he's got Europe behind him now. So fuck him.
We'll take another question right here.
I just wanted to say Mulholland Drive and Body Snatchers are some of my favorite films, and thank you for being parts of it and making a core part of my film experience growing up. And this was a really moving experience, and it was an honor to share it with you. And
I'm
my
sorry,
question
I
to all
don't
of
see
you,
who's talking.
Right
like
over
that.
there.
Oh,
yeah. And my question to all of you is: do you guys remember if there was any particular scene that was really hard to get through, or you guys that took a long time to come together, and how did it feel when it all came together during production?
Brooke, any favorite scene for you?
I'm sorry. Well, could you tell me what the question
The question was, what scene was the hardest to do, and how did we get through it? And then when we were done with it, how did it feel? And I was going to say the scene that kind of moved me the most, and I'm not even in it, is the scene where it's Melvin and Lelia on the stairs, and she finds out that he sold the place. I mean, it was like watching my mother have her grief. I mean, it killed me, that scene.
I was under Fred's camera.
Yeah, we were jammed in that hallway.
Yeah.
Right.
He was on the stairs shooting up at them because they were further up on the stairs. And I was under Fred's camera watching them and crying and having my hand over my mouth so that my sobs wouldn't be heard on the mic while they were talking. Well, they're so beautiful, so beautiful. And Melvin just came up. The caring, the conflict that he had, and the caring and the love scene. When he came around, and I can't think of any actor that I've known who stuns me as much as she does, as an actor who surprises herself as much as she surprises you, who, there's no planning in it. It's all so organic. And she went into a hospital not long after that.
Lee, we have another question right here.
I just wanted to thank you for your continual dedication to social justice. And I think everyone should watch Down and Out in America constantly. Timeless. And the healthcare system and domestic abuse, just over and over and over again. And I applaud you that you're always out there fighting. So thank you again.
A question right here.
Ms. Grant, I watched you as a boy when you were on television, and you weren't washed up after shampoo, I can tell you.
You weren't washed up after shampoo, we can tell you that. That's me, honey. I was washed up, to coin a phrase, washed out, rinsed out after shampoo. Yes?
Maybe I'm thinking of myself as washed up. I'm thinking of myself as washed up. No, two questions. One, when I read the novella in college, in Jewish American writers, I always, thinking of my own grandparents, that they were Yiddish-speaking native speakers. Were your characters Russian native? It sounded like they were Russian.
My parents?
No, the characters in the film, that Melvin Douglas and Ilya, their accents sounded
Yes.
Russian.
You mean the characters?
Yeah, I just remembered it because I was
in this film?
Yes.
Yeah, I just
Yes.
when I read it, I thought they were
They were Russians.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
And the second thing, given your history during the Blacklist, terrible that we thought would never happen again. But did you and Melvin Douglas ever talk about his wife Helen Gahagan Douglas and Richard Nixon running against her for Senate and calling her a pinko and ruining her political career?
I can't hear.
Oh,
I will tell you what he said.
What?
He asked if you and Melvin ever talked about Melvin's wife and her political career when Nixon basically trashed her. And
No, but I knew about it. It had happened before. It was an early, it's an interesting, she was a politician and had been trashed. She was a lefty politician and had been trashed. And of course, all of us who were left of left knew about it, and Melvin was also a very political guy. He was such a mensch, you know. I mean, his whole the whole exploration that he did in this film, and it was painful, you know, that his exploration was remarkable.
Any closing thoughts from our three guests?
Well, I'm very grateful that I got to make this movie with you, Lee. And I'm very grateful that we're still friends.
After what you did to me?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
Sure.
I still go over to Lee and Joey's house for dinner sometimes, and we live close to each other, and she's remarkable. You know that
she has become an extraordinary artist, and
But you're both artists.
yes,
But you're a painter too.
extraordinary artist.
Brooke is a
My admiration for the work that she does as an artist. I had great admiration for the work that she did in this film. She brought it together. She brought the enthusiasm, the youth, the ease, the unself-consciousness, the never 1 second of self-consciousness, the giving herself to these older people the way she would in life, which I knew she would. And I am just grateful for the performance that you gave.
Thank you.
Fred, any closing
You
remarks?
can't say any more than that, but I'm grateful that,
And the performance that you
oh, yes, indeed. No, it was, I mean, somewhat, it's interesting, this is one of the first films I did of any size, and I'll say that the first day I drove up, the first day we were going to shoot, I drove up with my wife, and we drove along, and there was one truck after another, one semi-truck after another, and I thought, oh my God. New York, we never did. There were not a lot of semi-trucks on the films I did. And I turned to my wife and I said, boy, I better do a good job today.